What up, everybody? Welcome to Real Talks. I'm Marty O'Connor, and this is my boy.
Sonny Casebout.
The show doesn't work out. Anyways.
Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, I know it's been a while, but, we've been holding it down, though, right?
Yeah, man, we've been grinding the last few weeks, and, schedules get crazy, but we are not going to abandon you
Don't
ever.
worry, fam.
Ever. We will never leave you guys. So
We're here.
Today we got some very important shit coming up for you.
Absolutely. With the whole world under siege and everything on fire right now, we want to talk about unity. And the best way to do that, though, is by embracing what's different. And we've kind of had to do that. Even before we got hurt, though, we were always kind of figuring out who we are, what we are, but we were always different. So we're going to break this up into 2 episodes for you guys today. The first part of the episode will be
embracing our own differences. Because, I think we can't truly accept ourselves and, become part of a broader community with confidence until we embrace the change that we are and the differences that we are. I think really finding your confidence is important about that. And then accepting the differences of others as well.
Yeah, our second part will be more about acceptance and learning about other people's differences as well, like the right questions to ask, kind of things you don't want to ask and things like that, but to all get us comfortable in this crazy world we live in today.
Yeah, man, it's all about approachability, and especially for our younger viewers, I know going through school, trying to find your place in this world is tough, and when people are different, we tend to ostracize those people or want to show how different we are from them and, try and celebrate our, dominance over these people for whatever the hell things that we possess. But all of us have intrinsic gifts that we have to bring to this world. And I think if we could all come together and celebrate our own differences, unity is, I think, the biggest weapon we have collectively as a people. So Let's talk about that a bit today. And so, Sonny, my boy.
Yes.
You sexy beast, you.
Yes.
You and I are kind of cut from the same cloth growing up. And athlete, kind of, big man on campus, kind of alpha mentality. And then when you got thrown in a chair, damn, boy, you're different now.
Right.
You're different. You got eyes on you, right? At least that's how I felt. So tell me a little bit how you felt different in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a two-parter. I think before I got hurt, and I know you can attest to this too, it was all about fitting in. Mm-hmm. You wanted to go to the right college, you wanted to have the right car, you wanted to kind of do what everybody else was doing. You didn't really want to stand out. You kind of wanted to fit in. And it was all about kind of being a chameleon. Mm-hmm. Once I got put into this lifestyle, this chair, this disability, it was the opposite of that. I didn't want anybody to look at me, especially when we roll into a room, when we go back to old places we used to frequent at. It was just like all eyes on me, and I hated that feeling. All eyes on me. I hated that feeling, So it was definitely a tough transition. It's something that I still struggle with sometimes, though. What was your kind of transition into being different, quote unquote?
Well, man, I felt like I stood out, and I always wanted to stand out, but for my own reasons, for my own individuality.
What would kind of make it easy to stand?
But it seemed like I was trying too hard. It shouldn't be hard, bro.
It shouldn't be hard at all, right?
It should be easy.
Stand.
Easy.
Stand.
You know what would help? If you had an easy stand, guys. Obviously, pump that up, get that get off your butt, get onto your feet. There are so many amazing benefits of this machine, and we couldn't be doing what we're doing without the help of Easy Stand, especially since my gym's been closed for 6, 7, 8 months. God dang, COVID, get the hell away from me. Let me get back in the gym, bro. So without my Easy Stand, I'd be freaking screwed. I get that weight bearing into my legs. I get to stretch out, get that weight off of my butt. My blood pressure's doing great. Sores are fucking going away. Pardon my French, but dude, I really...
That was me trying to reel it back into our topic here. Okay, so what was your first thing like? What was the first feelings you dealt with when you all of a sudden you're put into this category here? Yeah. And it's not something that you'd ever sign up for.
Yep.
What were some of your intimate thoughts?
So funny, dude. Immediately, I first was faced with denial. It was like, okay, I'm just in the hospital. Like, I'm going to get the hell out of this because, I'm just going to work as hard as I usually do. And, Marty's going to overcome this. But, like, right after that phase, like, getting out of the hospital, it's like, this is real. And all of the insecurities and everything that I felt my entire life that I could, I could hide with the way I carried myself or the things that I could do. I am now confronted with this right face to face.
Yeah.
And so for me, all these insecurities were at the forefront of my mind all the time now. So whenever someone was pushing me or helping me, I was getting into my car or eating, I felt like the weight of the world was like all these eyes were on me. Like you said, all eyes on me. It's just like I felt like everything like revolved around me.
Yeah.
And from a place of ego before, now this is a place that was confronting that insecurity that I had all along, right? And I didn't think that I had any value anymore because I hadn't explored what that value could be. You know what I mean?
Nor did you know somebody in our situation you could look at and like think of as like cool or inspirational or, oh, that's exciting to be in a wheelchair. Like we didn't have that.
Well, let me tell a quick story. To many of you viewers out there who don't know, my grandfather was in a wheelchair from the time he was 23 on.
Okay.
I was 24 when I got hurt, but my grandpa was in a wheelchair his whole life.
What kind of impression did that leave on you?
He had like so much success. He had a family, he had all these things. Yeah. So like, I had just kind of like a limitless idea of what being in a wheelchair could be. I sure as shit didn't want to be in one because, I just valued so much of my physicality. Yeah. But also he got put in a chair because he got polio. And, but he also was a para at 23. Ooh. But, he faced all sorts of adversities in terms of like discrimination, went through law school, did all this stuff, but then couldn't get a job because they wouldn't hire him because he was in a wheelchair.
Wow.
And think this is all like ADA and all this stuff. So he had to make a total switch after going through law school just because he was in a wheelchair. But, he was able to like push himself around, drive, hold his kids, play, do all this. Whereas me, woe is me. My arms weren't working and my independence was gone. So like I went to a dark place pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But what were some of the things, I can get into mine, but I want to hear yours first. Or what were some of the things that kind of triggered you to switch embracing that difference, or how did that process begin for you to find that confidence in your situation?
It's a great
Mine
question.
was tough.
I went back to when I was like in 3rd and 4th grade, and I came home and I was really upset this day because people were making fun of me at school for my name, Sonny, because the school I went to, nobody else had that names.
I'll kick their ass.
And I remember coming home and telling my mom, like, why the hell did you name me Sonny? Like this is the worst name you could have ever gave me,
Try having a name that rhymes with farty, bro.
Yeah, Marty Farty.
Farty.
And I was just like really upset by it, she's just like, moms do it, you're special type deal,
Oh yeah. My little Sonny Bear.
She's like, look, you're just different, did you want the common names like Marty or John or Luke or Tom, like I felt that you were going to be special, so I gave you a special name, and from that it kind of like planted this seed. Yeah. And from that point, it almost made me rebellious a little bit. Like, okay, I don't want to go with the trend. Let me be different, So when I first got into the chair, it was the same thing. It was like I went through the 3 or 4 years of just hating it, and then I came up with this Sonny in chair, and it was the same thing. I'm like, Sonny, boom! Thank God my name's Sonny. Add a chair to it. Now people laugh when I tell them. And it kind of helped me get over that little bit of like insecurity about it. And almost in a way, like I put on a cape and I'm like, all right, let's just do this damn thing.
Good for you, bro. Yeah. I mean, that's so I know this whole, it's not even alter ego. It just is you. This is like your brand now.
You would call it an alter ego though. Because I mean, there's certain things Sonny would never do, but Sonny and Cher would.
It's a new ego.
Exactly.
It's a new ego. It's transformed itself to this. And while my handle may just be, super original like Marty O'Connor. Yeah. It's something
Irish.
It's something that I've had to embrace too myself, and it's like I feel like I was very reluctant and stubborn for a longer time. Yeah. I think, I definitely dealt with a lot of insecurities and these things that, confronted me. I think like I was so forced and obligated now to deal with the things that my mind was struggling with.
Yeah.
That I couldn't physically overcome or physically overshadow just through activities, the way I carry myself. Like if I got butterflies now, my body would like cripple up into showing you like, oh, this dude's insecure. Like my legs would be shaking, and all these things now were very outward and very like out in the open. And so like I had to go through that struggle and that pain and embracing that shitty feeling that hit me over and over and over again. And I really had to finally sit myself down, you know, and confront these things. And it was like, okay, why am I insecure about getting fed? What do I think people are going to think less of me because of this? Why am I insecure about just being in a chair? Why am I insecure about the way my clothes are fitting me now? Like, what are all these things? You have to get to the core of your problem, right? And if you don't address the core of your insecurities, you will never be able to bring them outward to the forefront and just address them and, you know, overcome them, right? So I finally had to get to these issues, and I think it's a recurring theme where, you know, we try and cut to our core and really understand and get to know yourself. I think finding confidence, if you're struggling with that, which I know many of us are, is really finding out what value do you bring to this world. And I can tell you from experience, I didn't think I had any anymore. You know, I had an idea of what that value was. And now thinking I didn't have any anymore, I truly didn't understand who I was and what I brought to the world. And you don't want to vicariously live through others who will gas you up and give you a false sense of who you are, what you do, but you truly need to go through that struggle of getting to know who you are. Did you ever go through any of that, like self-exploration, kind of introspection?
Oh, a lot.
Who am I? Yeah, tell me about that.
There's just so much that goes on in our world today where it's so easy to compare and contrast. I had fear of missing out at FOMO. Like, I just thought everybody else was living their life, and I was sitting here on the sidelines. And I also felt like every time an opportunity did not happen the way I thought it was supposed to happen, I immediately blamed my chair. Oh, that girl didn't. We didn't go on a second date because I'm in a wheelchair. You know, and it's a slippery slope, because when you start making excuses like that about something that you really can't change, as hard as we work, it's a process. It's not something we can change overnight. You know, maybe one day we'll get there. You know, but when you start making those excuses, oh, it's because of this. You know, it's because I'm in a wheelchair and I can't get this job, or I can't succeed in this field. You know, I just started going downhill, and you know, as much as I didn't want to feel sorry for myself, those were definitely, you know, my worst moments of self-pity, where I just found myself just, you know, fully entrenched in it. I want to bring up this one point too. I remember one time I triggered one of your insecurities at the gym. I remember you were working out on the tilt table or whatnot, and I said something about your back acne. And you're not one who had acne, but it was developing because of like sweat on your back from sitting in the chair all the time. And like me being me, like, hey bro, what's up, dude? Your back's breaking out, you know? And you just immediately kind of shelled up. What were you going through at that moment, you know?
Yeah, I think I had just such a negative self-image at that time. That when that did flare up on me, I just felt so fucking gross. Like I hated myself, like at such a point, and I thought I would cover it up or whatever. And the fact that it like showed was like, oh my God, this shell that I've created around myself is exposed, and I am now everything that I have been telling myself over and over again. That's another thing. Like negative automatic thoughts and like negative self-talk are so damaging to yourself. So if like you're sitting there telling you are this, you are this, you are this, like you start to believe that, and it's a really dangerous thing that should be addressed. It's not okay. We need to love ourselves. You know, you can't love anyone else until you finally love yourself.
So cliche, but true.
And you know, we've done a number of episodes on dating, but I think I had to figure that out the hard way. Is like, dude, I don't know that I can truly be who I want to be as a person for someone else until I truly understand and love myself.
Right.
So I think when, you know, you kind of triggered that insecurity or found that vulnerability of mine, it just like, it pierced through the point of all of these negative things that weren't even true, but I was telling myself over and over again. So, you know, that's just, we all like tend to build armor around ourselves, or, build up walls and put all these false fronts out there. And it's like, you really need to get to know who you truly are and embrace, like, dude, what the hell can I do about this?
Yeah.
Like, I'm forced to lay on my back. I'm forced to sit in this chair, and,
yeah.
Like, showering ain't as easy and, frequent as it was before. And so, like, shit broke out. It's like, whatever, dude. I just had to get it taken care of. And, now that it is, it's like, you're thankful for it. It's bred perspective for me now, and, like, be thankful for what I'm going through now. Like, it's a freaking annoying game we're in, but I think so many people can relate to that. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
And thank you for being an asshole, but it helped me grow, bro.
Well, it makes me think
you weren't an asshole.
No, but it makes me think of two things though. It's one thing is that you never know what somebody else is going through.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was like the first time you actually wore a tank top in probably a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, me being outspoken, like carefree guy, like, hey dude, what's up your back, bro? It looks, I wasn't saying it to hurt your feelings.
No, yeah.
It was.
But it's just the banter that we go through as friends, But like
words.
I was in a weak place, but you didn't know that because I put up such that false front.
Right.
I didn't find that confidence yet.
But as you come across people that are different and you're intrigued by them, and you want to just to understand words are powerful. But on the other end of that, though, I think being different, whether it's whatever your nationality is, your religion, or your disability, or just you're different, you're a nerd, you're cool, whatever. Not to take things personal from other people. You know what I mean? Even people that you may know on a certain, at that time we knew each other, but it was more surface than it is now.
Yeah.
And it's like even the people that you may think are good friends or semi acquaintances, whatnot, you cannot take everything you hear because you are different personal, unless that person really knows you, and in that case, then they're just trying to hurt you anyway. So it's really a thin line between taking anything personal.
Yeah, and I think we as humans and we as individuals love difference. We hear something different on the radio or some song that just hits us differently. It's like think that hits different, right?
Yeah.
We want something that is different. Even that statement in general, it's like something that truly is unique and something that just like stands out to us. We are attracted to that. So let's keep that in the back of our minds.
Absolutely.
That we are attracted to something that stands out. So until we can realize what stands out about ourselves, that confidence will never come, and we will never truly shine our potential until we feel that. Yeah. And so, like, as we move forward, thinking about, the next thing about accepting others, it's like, dude, we need to know that we love difference. We love what stands out. And I think it comes from a place of insecurity when you try and put that difference down, because what you're trying to do is elevate yourself in a negative bullshit way that, is not nice, it hurts people's feelings, but it also doesn't celebrate what makes us truly who we are.
Yeah.
And I mean, whether you're believers or not, I mean, dude, God built us in his image. I mean, if he wanted a bunch of clones, he could have done that,
right.
And here we are, we're all different. We're all like different perspectives. Look at the world right now. Yeah. I mean, we are infighting. I mean, just because you celebrate this candidate or you celebrate that candidate, or you're of this religion, or you're of this religion, this sexuality, whatever the hell. It's like, why are we trying to break each other down? I think there's so much of a social construct that has been built up from the powers that be, whether that be media, whether that be, you can get into some other crazy shit, but they're trying to separate us so that we're weaker because they know we're stronger together. And I think we just need to celebrate that as a community. The more we believe in each other, the more we have each other's backs, the stronger we are, and the more actionable change we can make in the world.
What verse is it? No weapon formed against me shall be used against me. So when you embrace your difference, you're now taking the power away from anybody else to use that as a weapon towards you. And now it becomes your own personal weapon. So when I embraced my struggle, when I embraced my wheelchair, all of a sudden those insecurities that were being used against me are now my weapons to go and fight life. And because every day is a struggle.
Yeah.
Every day there's an inner fight that you deal with. Now I'm using this as my backpack full of just aids to get through that struggle,
Yeah.
So the more you embrace it, you'll realize that those things that are said against you, those people that are trying to hurt you, because now we're we're always a victim 24/7, right? Or we
Yeah.
could be a victim 24/7 because people can reach us through our social media, through phone. I mean, is there endless amounts of ways to get to us? You know, a bad Yelp review that you leave all the time every time we go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
You know, so it's.
I'm sorry, I asked for purely al dente noodles.
You call these
All of
fries soggy. Ugh.
Jesus.
But if we use our differences and we embrace them, all of a sudden now we're equipped with the best weapons we could ever think of.
Dude, our differences are our weapons.
Yes.
And I think until we can truly embrace that diversity, we'll never see all the sides. I mean, you're only looking at things from your perspective. And how many different ways do we need to strategize to attack tough problems in this world?
Right.
I think, you know, different perspectives breed different strategies and different viewpoints that if we can collectively get over the hump of, you know, of our own differences and thinking that we're always freaking right all the time.
Yes.
You know, I think like somewhere in that negotiation, somewhere in that agreement and agree to disagree, but finding strength in each other's differences, that's where we'll find true strength for ourselves. And I think as we move forward into, you know, this next segment,
You're right.
you know, I think finding your own confidence is truly the first step in embracing others' differences.
Yeah.
So
As we set it up, we're going to talk about acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about getting to know somebody who's different. But just think about this. Now that we've embraced our struggle, we've embraced our difference, now we meet somebody who's also different. Coming together makes a superpower like Will talks.
Absolutely, man. And finding our own confidence is a tough thing, so embracing others is crazy, man. So let's get into that a little bit. We're excited to have you, so stick around. Part 2 coming next week. I'm excited.
I am too, bro.
You know, we're going to keep it Will.
I think we actually might stay here, until next week.
I'm not leaving.
I mean, either. Let's just
I'm gonna
brainstorm.
say, for you guys, we've left you hanging.
Yeah.
So right now, we're going to hang.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving for another freaking week.
No.
So
We'll see you guys next
we
week.
love y'all. Stay tuned. Part 2 coming.